j'étais ravi avec Interbio et IFOAM de vous recevoir ici. Pensez à redonner vos casques, sinon ils nous compteront 250 € par personne, je vous le dis, et ça sera un drame. Donc quand vous sortez, vous les remettez. Et pour ceux qui nous font le plaisir de rester découvrir les 44 degrés demain en extérieur à Saint-Émilion, nous vous donnons rendez-vous à l'espace Darwin. C'est en face de là où on était hier soir, dans la caserne militaire, mais au niveau du restaurant en bas, à 8h40. À demain. Yann?
Merci beaucoup, Philippe. I really have to thank Denis Laurent for this last keynote. I think it was such a brilliant message at the end, so much evidence that all you are here in the room, you have now the evidence you live in a healthier way. Your nutrition, your diet is better for yourself and for the planet. And I think we discussed these 2 days a lot about complexity, relationships between us, farmers, processors, retailers, and consumption policymakers, and these connections, what you presented us from these complex cohort studies, brings us a really good final message to take home. So thanks again for this speech. So maybe you remember in my introduction words, I asked you that we use these 2 days together to train our way of thinking in a biological way, in a systemic way, and all these complex crises won't be answered by reductive, simple narratives, but by seeking and discussing good answers, good solutions, and look behind the things. I will close my speech here with a story I learned last year when my home association Bioland celebrates the 50th anniversary of our foundation. We were founded in 1971, and because I'm not old enough to know all our pioneers and founders, I spoke a lot to the son of Hans-Peter Rosch. I don't know if beyond the German-speaking area he is known. He was a medical doctor. He was searching. Doing a lot of research in our digestive system, and coming from that research of our digestion to our immune system, to the soil, and to the connection between agriculture, food, and the full health. And Hans-Peter Rosch, he wrote in the 60s, so more than 50 years ago, a book on soil fertility and the interactions between human health, plant health, and soil health. And I really can still recommend this pioneer work. And I asked his son last year, his son is 80 years old already, and he was quite involved in all this research work in the 60s, 70s, and late 80s. And I asked, so what for me now as president of Bioland, what is the main take-home message of your father creating so much important way of thinking and ideas for us in the organic movement? So what message will you give us for our 50th anniversary? And I expected some sophisticated message on soil life, etc. So, but it was a slightly different message. I will give it for you to as take-home message as well. He said that the most thing what my father wanted to communicate and to educate to farmers and to citizens was the reality that we as human beings are a multicellular organism together in synergies with millions and billions of unicellular organisms. And we as humans are not just one. We are billions in synergies, in symbiosis, in a very complex system of life. Just you, just you, just you. And if we understand that we are not just one, we understand we are not just one human being here in the room or in France or in Europe or at the planet. But if we understand our life, our life is depending, our health is depending on many, many organisms, like the soil, like the whole life on the planet. This change our habits, this change our way of thinking, this changes our way of acting. And this was the message 50 years before when Bioland founded, when IFOAM International founded, was 50 years ago as well. So that is what is organic is about. It's not creating market niche. It's not creating a simple solution. It is about changing the way of thinking and how we act, how we interact with each other to solve the problems we created our own as humans. And these 2 days, I think, we did very well to look behind the things, to try to understand complex relations, like we heard in the last keynote. We looked behind the budgets and the targets of the CAP, of the National Strategic Plans, what we discussed yesterday. And we asked, so what is really behind the figures? Which measures, which decisions of farmers can be influenced by the Common Agriculture Policy? And we looked behind a simple-looking sustainability labeling scheme, which is under work from the European Commission to be published on its principles by end of this year, and how much danger there is to reduce a complex system of producing food, of working in agriculture systems, and that these simple label systems can destroy a lot of efforts reducing complexity, which is not reducible. So, and we learned another, I think my last example I really liked from Sarah Compson, from our fellow colleague from United Kingdom, and she asked me not to mention rabbits again because she's not a rabbit expert, but I have to mention, on the example of rabbits, I think we can really remember and take home we shouldn't lose the big picture when it comes to the details of the EU organic regulation. The reality is really behind figures and behind some numbers, as we heard when we discussed the recent development of organic markets. So organic markets are complicated in this time, but it's not only about organic markets. We heard it's about the whole food market, which is under disruption. So I hope you learned a lot, not only new persons, new relations, to be better connected in our organic community and movement. And you learned about complex thinking and being part of the solutions of today and tomorrow. And last, I must say I'm really impressed of our hostess here in France, in Bordeaux, in Nouvelle-Aquitaine. You realized during our Congress to have speeches of the mayor of the city of Bordeaux, of the vice president of this municipality, of the département, and the president of the regions. And just Macron, the president of France, doesn't have time to come here. It's the only one who hasn't come, and he has a very good excuse because he has to travel with the Italian president and the Chancellor of Germany to Ukraine. And this is the other good news of these 2 days. So congratulations to Ukraine you get two of three important steps to be a candidate for a membership in the European Union, and we really welcome these decisions. So thank you all of you, all the participants, the speakers and moderators, and all organizers from EnterBio and from our lovely IFOAM Organics Europe team. But you need. But I have to mention one group, and maybe we can see them. I was really wondering how the interpreters are doing their job. I never heard speakers so. Especially our French colleagues, they speak so fast. They wanted to have so many content in their speeches, and you followed in English like in an incredible speed. So I think that you are there, interpreters. You are really done such a great job. And last but not least, thanks to all our sponsors, to Aboca, to the region Nouvelle-Aquitaine, Adour-Garonne Water Agency, Bordeaux Métropole, Département of Gironde, Green Organics, Rapunzel, Agence Bio, La Maison de la Bio, Naturland, Sole et Salute, City of Bordeaux, Ecosphere, Maison Menot, Equinac. All of you, a great thank to support such events. So at the end, Jérôme, Philippe, I think it was a great success for all of us. And I wish you a good health in organic and a good and safe trip home. And I hope I see you soon at Biofach in Nuremberg, a lot of you. We have a lot of work to do here and now, and together we can make a difference. Thank you very much.